how Saskatchewan residents are trying to seal their homes from the wildfire smoke. A Saskatoon team training for the international stage, how they're hoping to twirl their way to the top. And on track for some high-flying fun, Motocross revs into high gear on the Muscadet First Nation.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. With 14 wildfires burning out of control in northern Saskatchewan, more people are turning to air conditioning to keep their homes smoke-free. But as Keenan Sorokon reports, keeping your house cool is only part of ensuring your household air is clean.
It's not just the heat that has people calling for air conditioners.
We have been incredibly busy.
Michael Shaw with Centennial Plumbing, Heating and Electrical says more people are looking for a break from the smoke during wildfire season, and air conditioners and purification systems have become popular this summer. Respirologist Brianne Filipenko says very small particulate matter is the main concern of wildfire smoke, and staying indoors and keeping your windows shut is the best way to avoid it.
And the reason why it's particularly harmful is because it's so small, can settle deep in the lungs and cause inflammation and damage in the lungs because of that.
With more windows staying shut during hot days, Shaw says air conditioning alone isn't enough. A HEPA filter will get at the smallest particles and help keep the smoke outside.
It's a whole home system that as your furnace is cycling, as your air conditioning is running, it'll filter the air that comes from all the different areas of your house.
Filipenko says air quality sensors are available for purchase to keep a close eye on indoor air quality. Standalone air purifiers are another option. Regularly maintaining your air conditioner will also help keep things running smoothly, as will replacing furnace filters.
Air conditioners are a little bit finicky, and it will continue to run, just not at peak efficiency.
Shaw says to keep your humidifier off in the summer to avoid overworking your air conditioner. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan's NDP is calling on the Minister of Corrections, Policing and Public Safety to release details of an investigation into a now former member of the Saskatchewan Marshal Service. Jacob Carr explains why.
In front of the Legislative Building on Friday morning, NDP MLA Nicole Sarr called on the Sask Party minister responsible for the Marshal Service, Tim McLeod, to release the report conducted by the Public Complaints Commission into one of the officers with the Marshal Service. In April, the Marshal Service confirmed to CTV News that one of its members had been placed on administrative leave after a complaint was submitted to the PCC. The service did not disclose when the complaint was received or when the decision was made to put its member on leave. The complaint led to an investigation, which is now complete.
In this instance, the Marshal's Service and Minister McLeod has refused to release any information at all. I think it's in the public interest that this information be made open. Minister McLeod needs to rebuild trust within this new Marshal Service with the public, and he can do that by being open and transparent and releasing the report.
In an emailed statement, the provincial government said the complaint has been completed and provided to the Marshal Service for their review and action in accordance to the Police Act, adding the Minister of Corrections, Policing and Public Safety does not direct the day-to-day operations of the Saskatchewan Marshal Service. It goes on to say the PCC is an independent civilian-led body which does not issue public reports at the end of its investigations, and that it's standard practice for the PCC to provide internal investigation reports to the relevant police agency to carry out any disciplinary measures or public reporting. When asked to comment on the matter, the Saskatchewan Marshal Service said that the officer in question chose to voluntarily resign from the service and that no further details would be provided due to privacy and personal matters. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A man is suffering life-threatening injuries after being stabbed by a stranger near the river. Police say they were called at about 1:30 this morning to the 200 block of 21st Street East for an injured person. They arrived to find the victim suffering from a stab wound. Investigators have determined he was stabbed on a path near a wooden gazebo along Spadina Crescent East. Police do not believe the victim knew the suspect, who officers are still looking for. 5 people have been arrested following an alleged kidnapping in Saskatoon yesterday. Police say a man was contacted by his son saying he was kidnapped by multiple people. He told his dad he was being held in a vehicle and the suspects were demanding a large sum of money. Police found the vehicle in the 900 block of Weldon Avenue. When officers arrived, they found the victim walking toward a home with another person. Police intervened and arrested the person he was with. In total, 4 men and a woman have been charged with kidnapping with intent to hold for ransom. 2 people were sent to hospital following a dramatic crash in the Mayfair neighborhood. It happened at 38th Street West and Avenue G North yesterday morning. 2 vehicles collided, with one hitting a tree and the other a house. Police ticketed one of the drivers for disobeying a stop sign. The driver suffered what are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. The man who was the subject of a dangerous persons alert yesterday is now facing a charge of attempted murder. 28-year-old Elijah Albert is also charged with discharging a firearm with intent, along with uttering threats and pointing a firearm. At 2 o'clock yesterday morning, Punashai RCMP responded to a report of an armed person at a house on the Muskowhegan First Nation. An officer was shot during the incident, suffering with non-life-threatening injuries. Albert is scheduled to appear in Regina Provincial Court on Wednesday. A man who owns a property where the so-called Queen of Canada has been living has been arrested. 61-year-old Ricky Mans has been charged with assaulting 2 police officers, as well as assault, resisting arrest, and uttering threats. Mans is the owner of the former village school in Richmound in southwestern Saskatchewan, which has housed Romana Didelot's Kingdom of Canada group for nearly 2 years. Earlier this month, the village office closed its doors to the public, only allowing pre-arranged appointments, citing harassment and intimidation towards staff. Mans is scheduled to make a court appearance September 18th. A public inquest into the death of a child in the care of social services is scheduled for next month. The inquest for 14-year-old Brandon Schaefer Kovacs is scheduled for the week of August 25th at the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. Schaefer Kovacs was living at a group home run by the province when, on November 25th, he was taken to the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital, where he died 3 days later. A coroner's inquest a jury at the inquest may make recommendations to prevent similar deaths. The province is warning about a scam that's using the Prime Minister's image to target Saskatchewan people. The Financial and Consumer Affairs Authority says fake social media posts claiming Mark Carney is endorsing an online investment platform called Quill Capital are making their rounds. The FCAA says quillcapital.com claims to offer Saskatchewan residents trading opportunities, including stocks, cryptocurrencies, forex, and other commodities. Quill Capital is not registered to trade or sell securities or derivatives in Saskatchewan. People are advised to always verify their investments and seek professional advice before investing their money. Well, it was another hot day today and a very warm weekend is on the way, right?
A relatively warm weekend. Maybe not as hot as today, Chantal, because it's pretty roasty and toasty across Saskatchewan. And those hot temperatures have resulted, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for areas down in southeastern Saskatchewan, basically around the Stoughton area. We'll have to wait and see if that has produced any hail or other things that tend to be associated with severe weather at this time of year. There are also a couple of watch boxes in place for severe weather in Alberta and Saskatchewan and into Manitoba. So a really interesting mix of conditions, but not a surprise as we make our way into the latter part of July. We'll have more details later on.
9 Saskatoon athletes are getting ready to represent our province on the international stage. As CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, a local Baton twirling team is heading to Italy on Sunday to compete in the World Championships.
This team is ready to twirl to the top, battling the best in the world of baton. 9 athletes with Trilogy Twirling Team are set to compete in the Nations Cup and World Baton Twirling Championships held from August 2nd to the 10th in Turin, Italy.
I think for all still a little bit nervous, but we're really excited to travel and try something new and compete.
15-year-old Amy Kettleson is among the athletes heading overseas. She's been twirling for 7 years and is always looking to improve.
My favorite thing about Baton twirling is just the challenge that it gives you. There's always something new to try, and I think it's just really fun to try new things.
The team earned its spot on the international stage after competing in the Canadian qualifier in Calgary this past February. Head coach Kelly Towris says the group, with athletes 13 to 19 years old, has spent about 5 hours training each night leading up to the competition.
They're incredibly hard workers. We actually talked to them about that last night, from where they become from the beginning of the year till now. They're motivated, they're driven.
The team will be showcasing a total of 24 routines, but before crossing the big pond, their friends and family are gathering for a send-off performance.
I love that my friends can come and see me twirl because most of them haven't seen me twirl before. So I think it's really fun, and everybody is just there to cheer you on.
Kettleson says while she hopes to do well at the championships, she's most grateful for the experience. The twirlers take off Sunday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Muscadet First Nation southeast of Prince Albert is gearing up for a major event where motocross riders will take on sharp turns, steep hills, and high jumps. CTV's Jasmine Pelche went to go check it out.
Preparations are underway for this weekend's motocross races at the track on Muscadet First Nation. Riders and volunteers are looking forward to Saturday.
The competition, getting to battle with my buddies, and just hang out with all my family.
It's just such a great community with all the different riders. Everybody just helps out with everything so much. And this is just one of our local races, so we know everybody. We go to provincial races and stuff, and you know people, but it's not the same. It's really nice here for the weekend.
Organizers say over 100 riders from northern Saskatchewan and across the prairies will participate in 11 different events Saturday through Sunday.
We're expecting, the last count was 111, but I'm thinking by race day, we're probably looking at about 130 riders will be registered.
This weekend's event, named the Blair Morgan Invitational in honor of the Prince Albert-born motocross icon, is the last in the Triple Crown series. The first two Triple Crown events were in Nipawin and Melfort earlier this month. This will be the second event hosted by Prince Albert dirt riders this year.
The Midwest Motocross Association, amateur motocross, they were here earlier at the end of June, and they were here again last year. So there are lots of events going on throughout the province during the course of the summer. For us, though, we can only host 2 a year. We did the Midwest at the end of June. We're hosting ours now at the end of July. And all the riders, by the time they get here, have probably raced in several races.
Races will begin after 10 a.m. Saturday. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Rider fans turned out in droves this afternoon to tackle hunger. Ahead of their game tonight, the Saskatchewan Roughriders hosted the Purelator Tackle Hunger Game Day food drive in downtown Regina. Fans were asked to bring donations in support of the local food bank. In return for their donation, fans could take a photo with the Grey Cup. Last year's game raised more than 29,000 pounds of food for the Regina Food Bank. Plenty of people were hitting the links today around Saskatchewan, but perhaps only one man was hitting 100. Not on his scorecard, it's his age. Mick Fable tees up a milestone celebration on the golf course.
It's a common routine for Elvin Mitchell, 2 practice swings before making contact. Spending some time on the green has been a daily tradition for years, but this is the first time he's teeing off as a 100-year-old.
I like the game, and I got something to do. It was better than sitting home and watching TV. It's just beautiful out here in the sunshine, and yeah.
Mitchell has been a regular at the Thompson Lake Golf Course for decades. To mark the special occasion, the club threw a party for one of its favorite members, gifting him some special perks at the club.
Always needs a golf glove, so we threw that in. But he also has a lifetime membership. Hopefully he gets to use it for many more years. Lifetime membership for the golfing, his golf cart, and he keeps his golf cart in a shed over on the other side.
For his birthday round, Mitchell was joined by his regular group, working their way through 9 holes. Mitchell hit well, even against a slight wind. His family says the game has been a great addition to his life.
I think it gave him a purpose. He's worked hard all his life, a farmer, rancher, and he started later when he was about 45, and it's just been a passion for him.
For Mitchell, cake, friends, and a round of golf was the perfect way to mark the special day.
Oh, that's amazing. It's amazing. I wouldn't expect to see so many people. I really enjoy it. I really appreciate it.
Vic Favel, CTV News, Thompson Lake Regional Park.
A Saskatoon summer favorite has returned. The 2025 Synergy Credit Union Food Truck War Street Festival runs today through Sunday on Porter Street between Holy Cross High School and Lions Arena. Over 20 vendors are taking part with entertainment, including a hot dog eating contest tomorrow afternoon featuring CTV's Blair Farthing and a celebrity karaoke tomorrow evening with Jeremy Dodge. The YXE Beer Wars Festival is also being held next door in the Lions Arena today and tomorrow. Still to come, relief following a rescue at a remote Canadian mine. And what comes next following the not guilty verdict in the Hockey Canada sex assault trial. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. Relief at a remote mine in northern BC. 3 workers who were trapped underground for more than 2 days are now safely on the surface following a complex rescue operation. Regan Hasegawa is following the developments.
After more than 60 hours trapped deep underground, these scenic views of the Red Chris mine are a sight for sore eyes.
3 workers from high-tech drilling who were safely brought to surface last night. They are being reunited with their families early this morning. We are deeply relieved that all 3 individuals are safe and in good health and spirits.
One worker described the ordeal as a wild week and said he was glad to be out of there. The diamond drillers from BC, Manitoba, and Ontario were rescued faster than experts had expected, thanks to their quick thinking and the help of new technology.
Safety protocols work. Incredible that Kevin, Darren and Jesse did exactly what they were trained to do, and because of that, they stayed safe.
The trio got trapped Tuesday after 2 rock falls in the access tunnel. They were able to get to a refuge chamber equipped with everything they needed to survive for weeks, but they did lose all communication.
We do the daily inspections. We do monthly inspections. We actually do second line of defense inspections with teams from external to observe and see. This one that caught us by surprise.
Experts say these kinds of rock falls are rare.
It's just nothing but uncertainty, radical uncertainty.
He says it appears everything was done to prevent the disaster, but the nature of the work is unpredictable.
They were probably drilling holes for explosives. What they were building was a ramp, or what was known as a decline into the underground.
He expects we'll soon be hearing about these kinds of situations more often.
See, BC is really open pit mining country, and it has been for a while. Very few underground mines. We're going to see more underground mines because of the demand for metals.
BC may lead the industry in safety, but experts warn automation is the next step to prevent future emergencies. The open pit mine at Red Chris is resuming operations, but the underground project will remain closed until the investigation is complete. Regan Hasegawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
The verdict of not guilty for all 5 former junior hockey players in a high-profile sexual assault trial has put a focus on hockey culture and the meaning of consent. CTV's Adrian Gabriel followed the trial closely and today spoke with someone working to educate young hockey players.
A verdict delivered, a sports culture remains in the spotlight.
They found me lying on a floor in the bathroom, unconscious.
Kathleen LaRoche was 23 years old when she believed she was drugged and then eventually sexually assaulted in 2015 by a major junior hockey player in Quebec, who she says would go on to have a successful NHL career.
I called him. They found me unconscious. What happened? He said, just the only thing is I'm about to sign with the NHL. Please don't talk about it. That's what I did.
In denial for years, she suppressed the memory of what she says took place.
When Me Too wave came, my body started having anxiety symptoms, like as if my body remembered, even if my head didn't want to.
As part of her personal journey and to help educate athletes, LaRoche is now working with hockey players and coaches at all levels, starting as young as 15 years old, sharing her experience and the importance of consent and self-awareness.
I want to educate people like him to protect people like me.
Author Laura Robinson wrote Crossing the Line, that examines the pervasive culture of Canada's national sport.
In my book, I have two guys who were convicted, actually, Jarrett Reed and Andrew Power, as they were convicted as junior players. They're both coaching right now.
Following this week's verdicts, one-time star goalie Carter Hart had his lawyer share this message.
He is committed to sharing what he has learned with others in his personal circle and in his professional life.
We need to hear what Carter Hart believes those lessons are. We have to stop acting like this, and we have to make sure that there's not a generation after us acting like this.
For LaRoche, that's her ultimate goal.
By helping them understand themselves more, they can be more conscious about their actions.
LaRoche says she's witnessed a willingness from young athletes who are eager to change the narrative, adding that she's hopeful for the next generation. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, London, Ontario.
First, it was July 21st. Then the date for a trade deal with the U.S. was moved to August 1st. Now Donald Trump says a final deal may not happen at all, making tariffs an unavoidable reality for the Canadian economy. As negotiations between Ottawa and Washington continue behind the scenes, the U.S. president seems intent on creating economic chaos and confusion. Abigail Beeman in Ottawa now with more on where Canada goes from here.
U.S. President Donald Trump says most trade deals will be finished by August 1st. But as for us,
we haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation.
Hot on the heels of senior Canadians declaring progress and encouragement after D.C. meetings.
I had a productive, cordial discussion meeting with Secretary Lutnick.
We don't have a deal with Canada. We haven't been focused on it.
It looks like we're trying to negotiate with the guy at the reception desk. Commerce Secretary Lutnick's not going to make decisions.
Ottawa has certainly been focused on Washington.
I hope the Prime Minister and the government will start doing is being a little bit more forceful in putting out exactly what we're going to do in terms of preparing workers who are going to be affected.
The hit is starting to be material and financial in nature.
The Canadian Chamber of Commerce says the months of uncertainty are toxic for business.
It's not going to go away on August 1st, even if we have a temporary deal, because we are facing a real review of CUSMA, which is the big one.
But for now, all eyes are focused on August 1st, with no one having a clear idea of what will happen before the day the president has threatened to impose 35% tariffs on all goods not covered by CUSMA. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's Prime Minister calls Israel's handling of humanitarian aid in Gaza a violation of international law. Mark Carney posted a message on social media last night saying that Canada condemns the Israeli government's failure to prevent the rapidly deteriorating humanitarian disaster in Gaza. He is calling on all sides to negotiate an immediate ceasefire. Carney also reiterated the calls for Hamas to immediately release all hostages. Earlier this week, the UN Human Rights Office reported that since May, more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces while trying to get food.
Hi, I'm Mary Poppins, and I'm going to be performing in A Spoonful of Magic.
And I'm Oz.
Together, we're going to be at this year's Saskatoon Fringe Festival, July 31st through August 9th in the Broadway Theatre. Come see us there. You can get your tickets at 25thstreettheatre.org.
Oh, Mary Poppins, I think a storm is brewing. But Jeff, what's the weather?
Well, we're going to take a look in the crystal ball here and look towards the beginning of the Fringe, which is almost a week away. Well, not quite a week away. It's next Thursday is when things get underway. So July 31st. So the last day of July is when the Fringe starts, and it's going to be a hot day. 29 degrees, mainly sunny conditions. And so a sizzling start to the Saskatoon Fringe Festival, and you can get your tickets and more information at 25thstreettheatre.org. Now, let's take a look at some numbers right now. We'll start off with our current temperatures. 25 24 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert and the Battlefords. And as you can see, the wind is a little breezier, particularly in Prince Albert and the Battlefords compared to Saskatoon. And we'll just keep monitoring that, but it could be a breezy evening in store for the Battlefords. Now, on to Saskatoon's almanac for today. 26 degrees for a daytime high. That is 1 degree above seasonal for this time of year, but 10 degrees cooler than the record of 36 set in 1926. And the record cold temperature on this date on the minus side of the thermometer, Burr, that was in 1918. Sun came up at 5:17. It's going to go down at 9:06.
Coming up, an unearthed treasure is being shared with the public. A look at the item hidden in a Canadian home, now on display.
All right, a little bit of cloud out there right now. A lovely shot here in downtown Saskatoon. But let's go up north, a little further north. I think it was Prince Albert, Narrow Hills area of the park. Yes, one of our viewers sent us, Tim Alexson sent us this couple of bears. There's only frisky cubs punching it out, wrestling around, and we're not sure if that's mom in the background or another sibling. But we want to say thanks to Tim for sending us that. Finally, the shenanigans are over. All right. They got to go find some picnic baskets. There you go. And make sure you lock up your food and be very careful. Be bear aware. All right. We are trying to keep aware about this barely, moisture-laden area that is sliding into Saskatchewan. We're hoping for more in the way of moisture on those areas that really need it. But right now, the forecast does not look very productive or positive in that respect. Some of this moisture will be showing up in the Stony Rapids area, maybe around Cree Lake, but right now it just doesn't add up to a lot. Wollaston Lake might see a bit more rain, but not as much rain as we thought they were going to get yesterday, which is unfortunate. 24 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert and the Battlefords. And as we take a look at our hot spot, that was Last Mountain Regional Park at 34 big degrees. Meadow Lake was the cold spot at 10. Okay, let's take a look at the current temperatures around the province. 21 degrees in Lloydminster, 26 in Swift Current, then 32 in Moose Jaw, 30 in Regina and Estevan, 31 right now in York. And so, yes, it's a hot day in Saskatchewan. Into the central part of our province, temperatures ranging from the low 20s to the high 20s. It gets as warm as 28 in Wynyard, and the coolest is 22, and that's in Waskesiu. And now we're moving on to the northern part of our province, 15 degrees in Collins Bay, 19 in Stony Rapids. It warms up to 19 as well in Buffalo Narrows, 24 in La Ronge, 23 in South End and Sandy Bay Island Falls. And as we make our way down south, many locations at the 30 or warmer degree mark. Temperatures ranging from, well, it looks like 25 degrees in Outlook and Leader up to that 32 degrees in Coronach. It's 30 in Carlisle, 31 in Melville. Now, here we go with our futurecast. So this is what I'm talking about. The computer is certainly indicating that any moisture that's going to be showing up is going to be scattered in nature. You can see in the far north, there's a bit of a band of showers, but it really isn't widespread in terms of the kind of moisture we really need. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that this forecast gets a bit more on the wet side as we head into next week. Right now, we have some severe thunderstorm watches in effect for parts of western Saskatchewan into Alberta as well. But down south, we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in the Stoughton area, right down sort of Mydale, down towards the U.S. border. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here we go around the province. Temperatures of 23 degrees in La Ronge for tomorrow, 21 in Buffalo Narrows, 16 in Stony Rapids, and 18 in Key Lake. Temperatures in the low 20s for west central Saskatchewan under mainly cloudy skies. A similar sky pattern, but a bit warmer in the southwest, getting up to 27 in Maple Creek. Sunny or mainly sunny skies for Yorkton, Regina, and Moose Jaw. Temperatures of 27 there. 2 degrees warmer for Estevan, but with a bit more cloud. Temperatures hovering around 24 with a mix of sky conditions in east central Saskatchewan. And for the Battlefords, dropping down to 14 tonight with a slight chance of showers. Mainly cloudy skies on Saturday, a high of 22. Sunday, 20, 21 on Monday, but then warming up as we get rolling towards next week and the long weekend. For Prince Albert, slight chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm. The air quality index is on the low part of the scale, so that's not too bad. But mid-afternoon, we expect it to be worsening, but then it starts to improve in the latter part of the afternoon. And so just keep that in mind if you're heading out tomorrow. 23 degrees for the daytime high on Saturday in Prince Albert. Sunday, 22, 21 on Monday, and then warming up to 29 by by Thursday and Friday. And Saskatoon's overnight temperature 12 degrees with a slight chance of showers, a risk of a thunderstorm. And then tomorrow, mainly sunny skies, relatively good air quality, and a high of 24 on Sunday, 22 degrees with a chance of some showers, 21 on Monday, 25 on Tuesday, Wednesday 27, 29 on Thursday, and 1 week from today, 28 degrees and partly cloudy skies. By the way, this is the short version of this song. On the album, it's like 9 minutes long. Anyhow, American jazz great Chuck Mangione passed away, best known for the 1977 hit Feels So Good. Mangione was a flugelhorn and trumpet player and a composer. In later years, he also had a recurring role as himself on the animated series King of the Hill. His family says he died in his sleep at his home in Rochester, New York. Mangione was 84. A Justin Timberlake concert in Europe is going viral for all the wrong reasons. Some fans say they want a refund after the show by Timberlake in Transylvania last week. Timberlake could be seen pulling his jacket over his head during his appearance and refusing to sing during one of his biggest hits, Can't Stop the Feeling. Fans also reported he complained about the rain and the cold multiple times during the set.
My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try.
The Sandman. Adam Sandler fans will be happy. Happy Gilmore 2 is now streaming on Netflix 30 years after the original movie hit the big screen. The movie has most of the original stars back in their roles, but it also features cameos from some of the biggest names in pop culture, in sports, of course, including professional golfers.
All right, Jeff, there is a big celebration of culture happening this weekend.
It sure is, and it's an annual event. Avni, Sia, and Nikita are with us today because we are getting ready for the 10th anniversary edition of the Festival of India. It's a huge event. And Nikita, for people who, well, even though it's been here for 10 years, for people who haven't been, what can they expect?
So you will expect the parade. It's a big chariot coming in. So you will have a fun. It's a live dance on the street, and plus you will see the performances at the stage. We will have a feast food, the free feast food, and plus you will see some of the vendors who is going to showcase their stuff, and you will love it, and you will see a multicultural people joining this event, and it's going to be amazing.
It is an amazing event, and as you said, very multicultural, and as well, Nikita mentioned the parade. When does that begin?
The parade will start at 4 p.m. and we will start at LaRange Road and make our way down Pine House to Mewasson Park.
And if people would like more information, is there a website they can go to?
eastconsaskatoon.ca.
All right, so we are so looking forward to. Now, I understand both of you will be performing. Any particular dance you'll be doing?
An Indian classical dance.
And you?
We will be doing the same one.
The same one. Okay, there you go. So once again, the Festival of India, it gets underway on Sunday at what time?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. at the temple, and then there's the big event right here at the park. So thank you so much.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. There you go.
All right, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day. I feel some outdoors coming on.
A lot of outdoor pictures here. We have 4 for you today, so let's take a look at this one. Love this shot from Bruce. A pelican taking off of Lac La Ronge on one of our very few smoke-free days. That's a great action shot. Nice work there, Bruce. Next one comes to us from Lorraine. Finally, a clear, starry night at Marion Lake, or some people would say Marine, but still a beautiful shot there. And she also adds, best sleeping aid ever. What a great shot. There you go. We also have this one from Erica. And this is the mom in this story. Hayden, age 13, living his best life, doing what he loves most. This is up at Eagle Lake, Saskatchewan, and just a great shot of the way the sunlight is framing the young man's head there. So a great shot there. Thanks, Erica. And finally, now I'm not sure who sent this in, but it is Lorne Dick's birthday today. He's 72 years old, looking good, loves to be out in that sailboat. So happy birthday, Lorne. He sends us a lot of photos, and we want to thank him for doing that, and I hope you're having a great day. And hey, if you'd like to send us an image, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca.
Still to come on CTV News, the riders prepare for a big battle against a familiar face. But up next, an unearthed piece of history is being shared with the public. An unearthed treasure is now being shared with the public. For decades, a 1700s-era piece of military equipment was hidden inside an Ontario home until now. Ashley Bacon has more on how and when it was discovered.
That was a long time ago, and I've kept it ever since.
The year was 1945. A then 15-year-old rising track star, Gordon Wilder, and his grandfather began to renovate their home on Coburg Street in Stratford. When an interior wall came down, a treasure was unearthed.
Out pops this ammunition pouch, and it was buried in sawdust, which was insulation in those days. And so we dug it out. He looked at it and he handed it to me. He said, "Here, you can have it."
For the last 8 decades, this ammunition belt has been carefully kept at the Wilder home.
Mom and Dad decorated their house so lovely, and it was just part of it, and I never really thought much of it.
Now, 95 years old, Gordon believes it's time to pass it on.
I didn't want money for it. I just wanted to give it and verify history, and that's hopefully what's happened here in this museum.
Is a cartridge holder or an ammo pouch that contained shot and bolt, and our collections manager has dated it back to not only the War of 1812, but earlier to the 1700s.
The belt believed to be used in the War of 1812 and with the local militia before somehow ending up in a wall at 146 Coburg.
What we can determine is that whoever had this at the house that at that time in 1945 was 146 Coburg Street, that they probably brought it here.
Bringing with it a lifetime of memories and history to pass along.
I'm happy about it. I can sleep better now at night.
It's great because we already have an exhibit about this history, and we'll be able to tell its story.
After being a treasured family heirloom for the last 80 years, it'll be another few weeks before the public can get to view it on display here at the Stratford Perth Museum. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Stratford.
When we come back, the riders look to move into first place tonight. Then eyes to the sky for hot dogs.
All righty, welcome back. We'll take a look at our rural forecast for Saturday. And right now, things are looking pretty good. Towards the western side of the province, a bit on the cooler side. You can certainly see that. Lloydminster at 21, 22 in Meadow Lake and Spiritwood and Kindersley. But then, as you take a look at the eastern side of things are kind of warm, a little warmer than seasonal. As you can see, we've got ourselves 25 degrees for Hudson Bay, 24 in Wynyard, and 25 in Watchers, 24 in the Outlook, so not too bad in that respect. Down south, well, let's take a looky-loo, shall we? 29 degrees in Coronach tomorrow. 28 in Rock Glen and Carlisle, and everywhere else sort of hanging around that 26-degree mark with the exception of Leader and Rosetown. A little cooler, 23 for Rosetown and 24 for Leader. What will be the temperature in Kerrobert? Well, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and 23 degrees in the Kerrobert area. Winds out of the northwest at 10, so a not too bad situation there. And we want to say a special hello to Ken Murphy. I know he's a regular viewer and he sends us some updates on sports and things like that. So thank you, Ken, for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. And Kerrobert is where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
After last night's loss by Calgary to the Montreal Alouettes, the Roughriders have a chance to regain the top spot in the West Division with a win over Edmonton tonight. But they'll be doing it with yet another new offensive lineman getting their first start of 2025.
I've done the worrying part, with this group. It's just par for the course for us.
Corey Mace revealing yesterday Zach Fry is the latest to head to the injured list with a possible concussion he suffered during a crash he was in earlier this week. In his place, Noah Zur draws in at left tackle. Zur becomes the 9th offensive lineman to start for Saskatchewan in the team's 7th game.
I always try and take my mental reps when I can. Being the 6th man, you never know when you're going to be thrown into the mix, and the team's going to have to count on you to be that starter. So I think every week I try and really prepare like I'm going to start.
They set a standard, and they demand a standard amongst one another. They work hard. We're well coached. And if you're not performing to that standard, they're going to try and elevate you.
Kickoff is 7 o'clock tonight. Canadian stocks closed at a record high today, even as Washington threatened to keep tariffs in place on our exports. Andrew Bell brings us the latest in business.
Hello there. Toronto's composite stock index closed at a new record high today, with investors apparently undismayed by the latest tariff threat from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump said he might just abandon trade talks with Ottawa altogether and leave import levies in place. We haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada, Trump said. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation. The president has imposed steep new levies on imports of Canadian steel and aluminum. Stocks helping to lift the TSX today included Shopify and Royal Bank, but Tech Resources slid again amid disappointment over glitches at its giant copper mine in Chile. The Canadian dollar was under pressure. It changed hands at 72.96 US cents, down about 1/3 cent. West Texas Intermediate oil changed hands at $65.16, down 87 cents. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil has it at $53.69, up 50 cents. And the TSX closed at its new high of 27,494.35, up just over 122 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
Coming up, food delivery from an unlikely source. And it's a bird, it's a plane. Nope, it's a hot dog.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Well, a police officer in New Mexico sent a DoorDash driver to jail, but the customer still got his food.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hey, your DoorDash.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
The driver didn't take care of a traffic ticket, so he's on his way to jail. Over for you.
Damn, okay.
He's a good kid. Give him a 5-star.
The Rio Rancho police officer took over the delivery of Chick-fil-A. He says the driver didn't take care of an insurance ticket, but says he should be back on the road to make some more deliveries soon. So, interesting turn of events.
No kidding.
All right, well, it wasn't a foul ball that had baseball fans looking up at a game in Illinois, but thousands of hot dogs falling from the sky. The Joliet Slammers set a world record Tuesday night for the most hot dogs dropped in an hour from a helicopter. 2,600 hot dogs weighing nearly 500 pounds rained down onto the turf ahead of the 6th inning. Players tossed the dogs into the sold-out crowd, who couldn't be more excited. Like, did they eat them?
Well, yeah, they were wrapped in foil.
Oh.
Initially, I thought it was just a bunch of wieners. I was going to say, wow, well, it's like a Fellini movie. But there you go.
All right.
I guess it's time to talk about our weather situation.
Yeah.
It starts with the watches and warnings. Right now, the watch boxes in our province are sort of basically around Corrobert, Leader, Maple Creek, Kindersley, and Rosetown, and then down the southwest, it's Broadview and Carlisle and Milestone, Carnduff rather. And then the areas that are under severe watches right now, that's Stoughton, Miledale, and Kisbee areas. So we'll keep our eye on those things, see if anything transpires. And very quickly, if we have time, there we go. No, we don't have time.
I'll show you some feet.
Yeah, exactly. Feet are made for walking.
This is at the food truck wars that we were talking about earlier in the evening. They're back for another year. Delicious food, all on the menu, lots of entertainment. It all runs through until Sunday on Porter Avenue. We're going to lead you with some sights and sounds and feet, I guess.
All righty, cool.
Thanks for watching. Have a great and safe weekend.
The sounds.